Oh, we're live.
I think we're here. Hi, everybody. I'm Jack.
And I'm Tiff.
We are tiffandjack.com. We are so happy to be alive and live, right? Because not only are we on Facebook Live, but we are alive on Facebook Live.
We are.
Hi, Bree.
Hey, Bree.
Good to see your face. So, Tiff and I, of course, we're just taking a little break in the middle of our date night extravaganza. We're going to go see Nocturnal Animals for the movie. And we're excited about that. If you've seen it, let us know if you loved it.
Yes.
If you hated it, just shut up about it.
Yeah, don't say anything.
No spoilers. So, what is this new? Put on a mask to give yourself a fun look. That is hilarious. What does that mean? Hi, Kelly Verstraight. Hi, Nicole. Hey, Jen. It's good to see all of you.
Kate, hey.
It's good to see you. So, we're talking about Mercury Retrograde, but before we get there, Tiff and I just... Okay, see if you can tell what this is. What do you think it is? If any of you can figure it out, tell us what you think this is. And Nicole, yes, it is about damn time that we're online, because on live, it has been a rough week.
Wait, and did you see our last video? Did you see my face?
Hey, look, they know. Wishbone.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, people, Tiff, tell them what just happened.
Okay, so...
Check it.
See the identical bones? I've been saving this from our Thanksgiving turkey. And so we just went in the kitchen and pulled it, and the top popped off, and both of us got identical length in the bone.
First, we made our wishes. So we both get our wish. Is that not perfect?
It's totally awesome.
And that's because we're twin flames. So we're twins. We get everything the same.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So we've had a really great night. Oh, I was going to tell you, our last video. Well, I feel like it was mine because I stole the show with my saggy face. You know why? My back has been so awful. It's doing way better today. And I had been on painkillers and muscle relaxants, and I hadn't had some for a few hours, but after I got done with the video, several people are like,
are you okay?
Didn't seem like yourself. So I went back and watched the damn thing, and my face was like... I was like, oh my God, no.
So
yeah, so now my face is, a little firmer.
So we're just happy to be back and smiling again.
Yes.
And
we are in the pre-shadow of Mercury Retrograde, which Mercury goes direct on the 19th and goes until the 8th of January.
Yeah. But before we get there, I have to tell you a little bit about, so this morning, some of our sleep schedule. I go to sleep at night, 10 o'clock. I wake up at 5:20. And usually Tiff is awake, has been awake for 2 or 3 hours by the time I wake up. And this morning when I woke up to my alarm, she came in and she said, I have some things to share with you about Mercury Retrograde. And I don't know if you realize, but the witching hour is 3:30 in the morning. She's usually awakes right at 3:36 or something every day.
3:23.
Oh, 3:23.
I go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said, I have some things to share with you about Mercury Retrograde. She gets what we call downloads, which is where she receives information. She just starts asking questions, putting it out there, and she starts to understand things at a very deep level. And she had some amazing things to share about Mercury Retrograde. And Ashley, you're saying you can already feel it.
Yep.
Some of you may not know what Mercury Retrograde is. And some of you obviously do. Lori Edie, you love it. It is definitely a roller coaster
Lori, are you
ride.
serious?
It is pretty awesome when you understand.
It is if you understand what's really happening.
So share.
Well, a lot of people are afraid of Mercury Retrograde, and Jack and I have some pretty wild experiences during retrograde. I have some, actually, and I'm not going to speak for you, but I have some pretty profound spiritual experiences during retrograde, and then there's times when I'm like this.
We have had some of our biggest fights
Yes.
during retrograde. No
Yes.
question. Hands down, some of our biggest battles.
Yeah, I would say our biggest fights.
Yeah,
Are
horrible.
during. And the reason is Mercury is very influential over communication of all kinds. So in our line of work as life coaches, where we're always talking about things about life, we get lots of messages from our people saying, is something going on? Because I am losing my mind. I'm fighting with my spouse. I'm not getting along with people at work. My computers are going down. All kinds of things are happening. And sure enough, I'm like, yes, my love, it is Mercury retrograde. And then we talk a little bit about that and they're able to work through some things. But because Mercury is so influential in communication, it can really impact some of your experiences. But I would like to share with you what's really happening to Mercury. So Mercury is the fastest planet in our solar system. So it goes around the sun 3 to 4 times every year as the Earth goes around once. So when Mercury is starting to come and it starts lining up with Earth, it's moving quite quickly. Now, if you've ever been on the freeway as a little kid, looking out the back window as your parents are driving and the train's going a little bit faster than the car, it actually looks like the train is going backwards. And so people say, oh yeah, for 3 weeks, several times a year, Mercury stops and goes the opposite direction, which is actually not accurate. It is going faster than Earth, but because we are still moving, it looks like it's going backwards. And so that's why we say Mercury retrograde, because it appears to be going backwards. And they actually, forever ago, used to think it was going backwards, but now we know that it is an optical illusion. But it does impact our planet quite quickly. And one of the main reasons is the atmosphere of Mercury is very thin compared to other planets. And so the energy and force field from that energy that's coming from Mercury is influencing us quite a lot as it moves past us over that 21-day period. And so we have all kinds of interesting experiences. We will have misunderstandings sometimes. We will maybe get into fights. We might assume things more. We notice
time feels all crazy.
Yeah, time
it either feels
crazy.
very slow, usually very slow.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say that it feels like there's no progress being made. And the reason is that the energy of the Earth and the energy of Mercury are reading each other as they're passing by each other. And the Earth can feel that Mercury is going much faster. So we do feel like we're slowing down. It's all an illusion, but we can feel the energy of everything happening. And so we have many interesting experiences during retrograde. Is there anything you want to share about how you feel?
Yeah, retrograde, for me, I just know that I have to really work on not making up stories about everything, not taking things so personally, not kind of letting your feelings and thoughts just move through instead of taking it all so literally.
Yes.
Sheila, but why does it have to be during peak at FedEx, right?
Yeah,
Christmas time.
Yes, and it's going to be Christmas.
Yeah.
So one thing I would like to tell you is that your thought process does slow down a little bit. And it gives you an opportunity for things from the past to surface so that they can be cleared. So actually Mercury retrograde is a gift. And if you will look at it as such, then you won't be attracting more trouble than you need to. Now, by the law of attraction, if you know anything about me and Jack, we're always talking about the law of attraction and that you can create the life that you want. That's also happening during retrograde.
Absolutely. It's kind of like PMS. It gives you an opportunity, right? Right?
Yes.
Even though it can be such a troublesome time,
yes,
it is allowing you to see the things that you're believing about yourself deep down inside that just are not true.
Yes, Kelly Verstraete says no overthinking.
Yeah, really try not to overthink everything. Don't be so afraid of it. Don't get lost in the fear of it. You'll hear people talking about all the horrible things that can happen, but everything's just fine.
Now, I was listening to a scientist this morning that was talking about retrograde, and he says, yes, there is some energy fluctuations, but he's coming from the place that all these things are happening all the time, the misunderstandings and the communication errors and all that kind of stuff. But because it's retrograde, we pay more attention to it.
Right.
So you can believe what you like to believe. I happen to see the energy is quite a bit different than it usually is when Mercury is far away from the Earth. So I have a different understanding, but this is one thing I will tell you, is that if you are afraid of retrograde, you will, by the law of attraction, attract more trouble in than you need to. And so if you can look at retrograde as a gift and a time to contemplate and think about things when the past stuff comes up in the crazy way that it does, to just spend some time and do your inner work. That 3 to 4 weeks of retrograde really is a time of reflection. And here are some tips that will assist you during retrograde, especially during the holiday season.
When you start feeling tired, because you may feel a lot more tired, your sleep will probably be interrupted and disrupted. Take a little cat nap. Don't get into trying to resolve conflict when you're exhausted.
Absolutely.
So rest when you need to, even if it's just a little 5-minute close your eyes.
And if you are feeling upset, just take time. Don't try to work out a conflict when you're pissed. That's when a lot of the misunderstandings happen, because your thought process has slowed down a little bit. And so just take some time to breathe. Don't try and resolve things when you're angry.
And go ahead.
And if you're noticing that things feel slower and it's like, oh, is anything happening? Just take that time to journal. And because we feel slower and the energy feels a little stagnant, going to the gym and getting your energy revved up a little bit will assist you in huge ways, okay?
And somebody, I can't see who it was, but you just asked what is the date range again. It starts December 19th and ends January 8th. It does have a shadow at the beginning and at the end.
And the shadows this time are quite long.
They
I was
really,
looking at it going, are you serious?
really, really long. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays for us all.
Here we are.
I do know that if you go into it with the mindset that I'm going to have an amazing experience, and you clear out any of the fear that you're having, things will get better, okay? They will get better for you, and you'll have some pretty profound experiences. And when you are done with retrograde, you will see where you have jumped leaps and bounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
In your growth and in your consciousness. It really is such an amazing thing. James Gardner, hello.
So glad you're there. And
from
Janet,
Canada.
Janet, you're welcome. Jody Hager from Chicago.
Oh,
are you
gosh.
freezing?
Oh, gosh.
It's cold in Chicago.
Yes.
We're so glad. And I saw that Brenda Grogan was here. So good to see you. I'm wondering if you're in Alaska or on your trip to Hawaii. One or the other.
They would both be amazing, but probably Hawaii more for you.
Yeah. So let's see. Is there one thing that we would like to share? If you get something out of these videos, please share it with the people that you love. We've had a few people ask us if it's okay if you share it. Share away.
Share.
We always say the more the merrier. And also I know that if you would like to be notified when we are going live, I do believe you can just make sure to follow us. And I think it's in the feed. We have our camera turned horizontal. So I can't see that there's a follow button, but I do believe there is. So that's another way you can follow us. We also, in the show notes that I get posted just shortly after this video is finished, we will have a link to our blog post that's going to go out today. Well, as soon as this video is loaded to it, it's going out, and we can easily give you a link to that. So you can jump on, just see. We just wrote a little bit about retrograde, some of the tips on how to manage it, like Tiff just shared. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
We so appreciate you being here and watching us be so silly.
And Jody, yes, it is cold in Chicago. We miss you too, Jody.
Oh,
hope you're just loving,
we do miss
loving
you.
Life.
Yes. And just a little reminder, tonight is date night for Jack and I, and we're always, when we work with the couples that we work with in our coaching, or we're just talking about relationship, remember that date night once a week, it doesn't have to be expensive, but just spending some time to really enjoy each other's company and have fun is really critical to a healthy relationship. If you're not in a healthy relationship, set your intention to find your match.
Which means you choose it. You become willing to have that.
Yes.
Choose it. allow it to come in and don't manage the details. That's the universe's job.
Yes. And so take your date night, have a good time. We went and had an amazing dinner at the Couscous Grill, new place.
We talked about it last week.
Oh yeah, because we went there last week, and I had another Stella beer, and I was like, wow, this is like affecting me. I'm sober now. It may not seem like it, but I am. And it was only one beer. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
David Homer, it's so good to see you.
Hi, David.
And Nicole, I'll get the business link to you.
Yes.
So you can share it. Thank you so much.
So we hope you have a wonderful night. We're going to head out to a movie. First, I've got to go to the grocery store because I'm going to buy some sugar because I'm starting my Christmas baking tomorrow.
So excited.
So we're very, very happy to do that. Okay, what does that say?
Angelina, we're so glad that you're here.
Thank you so much for being here, Angelina. Okay.
Is that it? Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have any freaky experiences with retrograde, send me a private message because I would love to hear about that. We'll use it in future live videos so that we can start sharing with people some of the things that are happening. If we shared with you some of the things that have happened in this house in retrograde, I don't know if we want to do that.
Like I said, our biggest fights
Yeah.
that we
but
have
this year, or this time is not happening.
No, not for me. I'm going to be taking naps.
It's Christmas time. Happy holidays to everyone. And I would suggest that you get your Christmas shopping done before the 19th just to take a little load off. You know what I'm saying?
We're so glad to be here. Thank you, Facebook, for having this option for us to share.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thank you so much for joining us and sharing our videos. We just want to get the word out. Always trying to help you have an amazing life where every day feels like a holiday.
Yes.
Because it can.
Amen.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
See ya.
See you soon.